Hey, nerdy sports fan here, and we're continuing our series of regrading the 2017 NFL Draft. Doing this mostly because the common wisdom on the draft is it takes a few years to really get a firm grasp on what you have in these guys. Whether it be on-field development that they need, which all of them do, first of all. There's technique and training that you don't really have a chance to dig into until football is your 24/7 job. So these guys have relatively raw talent, all of them, coming in. And how they transition to applying that raw talent to now players that are just as talented as them, or better, every week is a challenge. Not to mention, how do they handle fame and money? How do they manage themselves off the field? Because college programs, man, the head coach manages almost all of your damn time. All of it, okay? The training and the practices that they're allowed to do in the college environment, so much more of their time is absorbed by the football program than what happens in the NFL. Not to mention they have classes that they have to go to and keep decent marks. I understand that there's somebody in the athletic department that's likely paying for test scores and things of that nature in a lot of these guys' cases, but it's not the case with all of them. Okay? So you have all of your time managed by the coach. You have your class regimen that you have to take. You're booked. Well, you're not booked anymore when you have the NFL. Okay, you actually have time to do things. Not everybody uses that time wisely. I mean, we just had the story come out about Sammy Watkins, who kind of drank himself out of Buffalo, bounced around the league a bit. He's been with two teams since, and this was a guy who was a top 5 pick, and expected to be the absolute best receiver out of the absolute best receiver class that the draft has seen until this year. So, yeah, a lot of these guys, even the uber talented guys, can just wash out of the league. So 3 years later, let's see how these Cowboys did, huh? Ooh, yeah, not looking good right off the bat. Okay, round 1, pick number 28, Taco Charlton. Well, Taco no real production and not exactly a model citizen. Yeah, he's playing for the Dolphins now. Not well, not a starter. Probably not going to be in the league as of week 1. Not really what you were looking for out of your first round draft pick there, Jerry. All right, now moving on to the second round. Let's forget about Taco as quickly as we can, right? You get Chidobe Awuzie. Savior. All right. Saves the draft right there. Awuzie is the reason you were okay with letting Byron Jones go. Okay, he's a solid starting corner. Is he the best in the league? Is he a perennial all-pro? No. He's also a second-round pick. And corner is such a supremely valuable position in today's NFL that, I mean, getting a top 3 or top 4 corner on your roster who's going to be there for a long time at this pick is a great benefit for your team. So the fact that he's walking into camp as your number 1 corner, kudos. Moving on, round 3, you're also addressing the defensive secondary with Jordan Lewis out of Michigan. Now, Lewis is a guy who would be your second string if you didn't also draft a corner this year. So, he's solid, okay? And he's... The Michigan product just plays consistently. And he's going to be your number 3 or number 4 corner all season, depending on how you look at the depth chart there. And that's solid value for a third-round draft pick. So, no complaints there. Fourth-round draft pick, Ryan Switzer, wide receiver out of North Carolina, no longer with the team. He's hanging on with these Steelers, but considering the offense was the worst part of the Steelers last season, who knows if he's going to hold on there well. You get Xavier Woods, though. Louisiana Tech product in the next round. Xavier Woods, 6th rounder. Pick number 191. He's your starting free safety. And a good one. Okay? Can you upgrade from him? Sure. Okay? There's probably 10 or so safeties in the league that you can say are obviously better. But that doesn't really matter. This draft has produced now 3 of your top 5 defensive backs on the roster. And it's not exactly a bad defense here in Big D. Okay? Now, on from there, still in the 6th round, multiple 6th and 7th round picks in this draft. A lot of trading went on with all of the craziness in Jerry World. And you get Marquez White in the 6th round, pick 216. Corner out of Florida State, no longer in the league. Not a huge deal. He's a 6th rounder. Xavier Woods is the exception. Mr. Marquez White is the rule. 6th and 7th round picks don't really do too much in this league. Moving on, Joey Ivy, defensive tackle out of Florida at pick number 228. He's actually still in the league, which is really good for a 7th round draft pick. He's in Tennessee now, so you're not reaping the benefits of his services any longer. Noah Brown, wide receiver out of Ohio State at pick number 239, still hanging on with the team. More of a special teams contributor. He's got, 4, 5 wide receivers ahead of him on the depth chart right now. So not really going to see a heck of a lot of playing time, but he's hanging on with the team. You can't complain about that. And pick 246, Jordan Carroll, whatever you want to say, just not going to be here anymore. He's not in the league anymore. Okay? So, Taco was, man, that's a punch in the mouth. You start this draft class off with a guy who doesn't deserve a roster spot pretty much anywhere anymore. Still hanging on in the league, but again, we'll see for how long. You got pretty much your entire starting secondary in this draft, though. 3 out of your top 5 DBs came from this draft. So you can't say it's all bad. Just with Taco being such a huge disappointment, you can't exactly give this the best of grades. Giving it a C+. Okay, it's certainly a passing mark. You don't really have any superstar talents out of this draft at all. Just solid contributors. And in very valuable positions. So, good on you, Jerry. This really, for me, this is, 2nd or 3rd year in a row that Jerry actually started to seem reasonable. Maybe second. Yeah. 2016 draft, he avoided the Manziel debacle by selecting a fantastic offensive lineman instead. So this is year 2 of Jerry having his head screwed on straight, managing the front office, and it shows. Okay? He went for, what a lot of people did think of as a risk in Taco Charlton, but, that's a guy that the hype had him as a top 10 possibility, but people who were in the know knew that the risks surrounding the guy made it so he got pushed down the board into the end of the 1st round, and the risks reared their ugly head. Okay? Again, that's what sours this. But you cannot complain about getting essentially the biggest parts of your starting secondary now all in one draft. Again, good job, Jerry. C+. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Hit me up in the comments. All right? I'll talk about football and the draft for weeks on end. If you enjoy the video game content I used to post on this page, hit that up at a new channel, the Nerd Esports Fan, and hit me up on Patreon. We're rolling out content for fantasy football to help you with setting your big board, setting your week-to-week draft lineup, sits, starts, top 10 players for a week, rotating pools, whatever you need. You want to win your league this year? Hit me up.